Hey guys, Czar here, just watching gold this morning. There's not much going on in the indices, and I'm looking here for a potential buy. Now I will tell you this is a very extended. I don't know if it's overextended, but it's extended move here on gold. I'd be looking for a 2-to-1 on this one, which is asking a lot. You know what? I'm gonna go for a 1-to-1 because we are so extended. I'll show that to you in a moment. Here we go. So that's a buy stop order right there. Give me one moment. Just flipping over to my own platform. Buy stop. Above the market. Above the market. This is the 30-minute chart. Stop below current candle wick. Looking for a 1-to-1. Which is a target of 1815 for me. 1815, yep, right there. And we're going to transmit that order, meaning that if prices now hit that, we'll be brought in, hit this area here, I'll be in for the trade. I'm going to refine that just a little bit to here, and a strict 1-to-1. I have very low commissions on Interactive Brokers, and so I just don't include them. I usually go for a little bit more on the target, and then more than accounts for all those things, spreads and commissions. Spreads are tiny too, thankfully to the platform. All right. Can't get an in-between. There we go. Whereas I can on my platform. All right, so this is the buy stop, and it's only if prices break above. Now, here's what I meant by extended, right? We had this very big move here already. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 white candles, and the reality is we would be going for the 7th white candle. If this takes us in, this would be a white candle again, so that would be number 7, 2, 4, 6, 7, yeah, in a row, which you don't see very often without a pullback. Here we have 2 and then a pullback, and then we have 3, or I call it 3 because it's the indecisive candle, and then a big pullback. We have 2, 4, 6, 7, and a big pullback. All right, we're asking for 7 here. 2, 4, 5, pullback, 1 more, and then big pullback. What do we have here? 2, 3, pullback, 1 big one, and then big pullback, right? So we are asking a lot, but I like what's happening here from a structural standpoint. What do I mean by that? I mean this clean traffic over here to the left, and then before that, clean traffic. We have some noise in here, and that does matter, but not as much. But then I also want to take you to the higher time frames. This is something you haven't seen me show you before. I'm kind of unveiling things here as we go. And we'll keep an eye on this order, by the way. If we could take it in, I'll let you know. But this is the 4-hour time frame, right? 4-hour, see up there? This is the 30-minute time frame, and then we have a 10-minute time frame here. So 4, 30, 10. 4-hour, 30-minute, and 10, okay? The red zones are 4-hour zones. The blue zones are 30-minute zones, and the yellow zones are 10-minute zones, or the more micro zones, if you will. Not to be confused with chromosomes, which is not even zones at all. And this is what happens when you reach Friday with no sleep, guys. You just start talking nonsense. So thank you for your patience. I'm going to flip you back now to the main screen. Right here. You're watching that now. Watching that for a breakout. And oh, so what I was showing you, sorry guys, again, this break here above on the 30-minute, this middle chart, see this here? This break above for this clean zone here to get us up here. The real big clean action was on the 4-hour time zone. You see on the far left here. We're looking to close that zone. We're asking a lot, but we can do it. At least a piece of that was what we're looking for right now, not all of it. And then and again, a piece of this right here, right? We're looking for about, move to about here, 18, 15, 16 right there. And then, of course, on the 10-minute chart, we're looking for a move to right here, okay? bring you back. I'll put you on pause now and see if we can break through the zone, and I'll bring you back. Be right back, guys. On pause now. All right, guys, a couple of minutes have passed here. And we had a little bit of a push-up, and so I wanted to bring you back just to see the entry itself, but it looks like it's not going to happen right now. Pretty quiet right now. It's 7:21 a.m. There is news this morning at 8:30, and that news is, I believe it's PPI, is that right? I'm not sure why I can't remember that. Yeah, PPI month over month. It's high alert news, and that will be at 8:30 a.m., which is in an hour and 9 minutes. 1 hour and 9 minutes, and gold will almost certainly move on that. We don't know which way, obviously. And then at 10 a.m. we have the Michigan Consumer Sentiment preliminary numbers. It's also a high red folder, in other words, high impact news. Typically, doesn't always do much, but often does. Put you back on pause for now, guys. Here we go. All right, pushing up a little bit here. And stalling big time. Waiting for it. And I'm in. I'm in this trade now, guys. In this trade. In this trade, pulling back now. I'm going to put you, take you back to the triple screen. And this is the 4-hour chart. You see the structure here breaking above and trying to get up to here, which is a completion of this candle body. That's also the target. We have a target of 1815. The target of 1815 would be right here. You see this? So we're just trying to fill that body on the 4-hour. On the 30-minute, you see us breaking above here. We had this nice little pullback wick. Let me just zoom in there so you can see it. Pullback wick. Of course, we're looking at that on the big screen too. Excuse me, guys. The dry air sometimes gets to me here in the morning. And then we have the 10-minute on the far right. Bring you back now to the main screen. This is the 30-minute candle, pulling back now. We are asking for a lot, but it's for me, it's worth flipping the coin and risking 1 hour. We're just risking 1 hour here this morning. Because I did like how we broke and closed not only into this fresh zone, but also above these wicks here. We closed nicely above all of these wicks. I could even raise this to here. See that wick there? Or I can raise it to above these, and you'll see we closed handily and convincingly above those. We also did have a relatively nice upper wick, top wick. Then we had a nice pullback here and a bottom wick. So all the pieces are in place, and we've now taken an entry on that break above. The only thing really going against this, well, there's a couple of things really, and there's always something you can name that's not perfect in a trade. You want optimal on the foundation, on the foundational elements. So the foundation needs to be strong, a sound intellectual framework to begin the trade with. But you will always be one or two things that could be a little bit better. Number one is this is an extended move, right? I mentioned the 7th white candle, which we actually haven't seen here in all of this, call it 24-hour history, not once. And so that could work against us, right? The other thing is the time of day. It's 7:25 a.m. This is gold, so it's not really a London play as such. But London opened 4 hours and 25 minutes ago. So that opening flurry on London in the stock market sometimes plays over, and you see it affect the gold market. You can see it here. Here's the opening, this initial drive down, which is what happened with some of the indices as well, right? and then this complete and utter reversal, violent rejection wick here, a reversal wick, and then this push up. So we're just asking for a little bit more. We're asking for a completion on that 4-hour candle. This one here, remember that body right there? We're just asking for it to push up and get pretty close to that. See that little wick in there? That's where we're asking it to go. Let me zoom in to show you this. We're asking for it to go to that wick right there on the candle prior to this clean traffic candle, if that makes sense. Take you back to the main screen. You'll see we're still just kind of hanging in there, but barely. So this one could cost us 1 hour. We'll see. Now, if we get too close to the news, guys, I might just close this out, even if it's at a loss. I have no problem doing that in order to protect the account and protect my wealth, so to speak. All right. So I'm going to put you back on pause, and we'll watch this play out together. I'll save you from the grind, though. Here we go. On pause. Guys, a couple of minutes have passed here, pushing up just a little bit. So I wanted to check in with you and touch base. The reason I do this, guys, is because it gives a kind of a very nice big picture overview of what's happening here, right? So we're starting from the left. We're reading from the left to the right, just as you would reading a book, top down, right? So the higher time frame first. What's the bigger picture? Then we're getting to the smaller picture, so 4 hours, and then moving into the 30 minutes. Right? This could be a 1 hour chart too, whatever works for you, and then down into the 10-minute. So there are 3 of these candles for every one of these. And then, of course, there are 8 of these candles for every one of these, 4 hours to the 30-minute, right? I'm guessing that makes sense to you. Very, very simple math, obviously. And that gives you gives me a very good overview of what's happening here. We've just started a new 30-minute candle. So I do expect that this will pull back now. And that's because most candles have a bottom wick, right? Now, why did I get in if I knew this 30-minute candle was going to pull back here? Well, the reason is we didn't know if this candle, the one we entered on, was going to drive up and take us to the promised land, right? So if it did, the trade would be over. And the fact that it isn't now means that we probably need to endure some drawdown here. The thing we're hoping for is that the drawdown does not pull back beyond this, or too much beyond this blue horizontal line, which was the tops of those rejection wicks there, right? From earlier, as a matter of fact, from 1, 2, 3, 4 days ago. It's a long time, but it does matter. So this pullback would panic a lot of traders. I don't like seeing blue candles when I'm long a position, but it's to be expected, right? We expect a bottom wick on the next 30-minute candle, same way this one had a 30-minute wick, had a 30-minute wick. And this 30-minute candle had a long wick. This one will likely have one too. We're just, I'll call it, hoping that it doesn't break down beyond the bottom of this one here. I'm very careful how I use the word hoping, not to construe the idea of hopium, kind of blind hoping and wishing, praying, any of these types of things. Those things have no place in trading whatsoever. This is a clinical, transactional, odds-based, probabilities-based business, and needs to be looked upon as such. It does not mean your natural impulses won't be triggered. They absolutely will be. And that's why this is a game of impulse control. I'll put you on pause again here, guys. You know what? I'm going to put you on mute. I'm just going to step out for one. Alright guys, I'm back. You can see we're just kind of treading water here. But we've had a bottom wick, and that's a healthy bottom wick. It's what we would expect. I'm going to zoom out now so we can look at this kind of in perspective, right? So this bottom wick on this candle, and then it drove up. We had this bottom wick on this candle, and it sort of drove up. Now we've had the bottom wick on this candle, and we're looking for it to drive up. Since we're so extended, it's going to be more difficult, right? We've talked about this. You see it's meeting a little bit of resistance here now. But that's what we're going to be counting on as a possibility. And that's what we've flipped the coin on, right? And then fairly soon, if we can get a drive up a little bit more, I'll be moving that stop. Now that marker just disappeared on my screen. TradingView's been doing that. It should pop back, and there we go. I'm not sure why it's doing that lately, but I guess there's some issues over at TradingView. Watching this now. I'll bring you back again. I really am introducing this. Will be the first video I've introduced this triple time frame kind of a setup in. And again, trying to approach right here. This is our target, right? This blue candle to get a near completion on that blue body. And then you can see what's happening here on the 30 and on the 10-minute charts. Struggling a bit here for the reasons that we discussed, I would imagine. You can never know for sure. But that seems like the most likely explanation. Nervous traders would often take profits immediately. Right now they see this thing, they had all this money, sitting on the table, and it pulled back. They'll just get out now. They'll take the break even or small win to guarantee that, to not feel like a loser, right? That's what happens on a neurological level. I'm not going to play that game. I'm willing to give all of this back. I obviously gave all of this back. I'm willing to lose all of this in order to stay in for all of that, even though it's the same, right? I'd be losing as much as I would be winning. But this is the way the math has to work. Assuming a sound intellectual framework to your trade, this is the way we do it. Now, if prices resume their uptrend, big if, and get back to the top here, I would now, because of the maturing of this candle in terms of time, I would move my stop to below this current wick, right? Maybe even to below the body, which is near basically break even. We'll see. It has to feel right too, and there's no getting around that, guys. I mean, when you're in your fourth decade of trading, there's a feel that you develop. It's a real phenomenon. If you're a member of my Telegram group, you see my exits, and 80-90% of my exits they look like black magic because of the way that prices turn around. And most of the time, I can give you structural reasons as to why I chose those exits, but there's about 20% of the time when it's just a feeling, and symmetry and proportion and things like that do play a part for sure, and you can do the math or the measurements on that. But the rest it's just tens of thousands of chart hours. You need to remember too, I mean, I was trading long before the digital age. And when I say digital, long before the digital age, but long before the internet, way before the internet, late 80s, early 90s, and internet didn't come around, even start in its basic form until about 98 or so. And so I was doing my charting by hand on graph paper with pencil, eraser, and ruler, each bar hand drawn. And I traded commodities, futures, and stocks. And when you're doing all those charts by hand, you really get to understand and get a feel for candle biology and candle anatomy. I used to order chart books and from the commodities, I think it was Commodities Research Bureau or something, a long time ago now. And they would come once a week on a Friday, and then starting on the Monday, you'd have to update Friday's data, and then closing data, and then on Monday you would start for the entire week, charting your candles, intraday and daily candles, and it's quite a painstaking. That was all we knew. We didn't know that this was coming, right? the internet and things like TradingView, which is a mind-blowing platform. And if you don't use TradingView for your charting, I highly recommend it. It's just incredibly robust. Allows you to do just about whatever you want to do, and phenomenal. And it gets better all the time. No affiliation, by the way. Nobody's paying me to say that. I know what tools are good and what aren't. All right, guys, I'm going to put you on pause here. We've been 22 minutes into this video already and still waiting for this, but I think we've had a good chat. I'm going to put you on pause now. I'll bring you back if anything happens. Here we go. Pause. Hey, guys. Okay, so a number of minutes have passed. Quite a few minutes, actually. Another whole candle is formed here, I believe. I can't remember when I put it on pause, and you can see it's not looking great. We're getting rejection wicks here. It looks like things are going to push down and likely take us out or take me out for a 1 hour loss, and that's okay. But I'll put you back on pause and we'll work this out together. Here we go. All right, guys, we're back. We're getting a little bit of movement here, which is nice to see. But this thing is far from over yet, of course. Very sluggish, and of course we are also 8:06 a.m. with the big news, PPI month over month coming in 24 minutes, and so sometimes the market gets a little quiet or even whippy. It could do either one. It can get really quiet before the news and it's waiting for it, to drop, or it can start speculating before the news comes out and you can get some whippiness. So we'll see what happens here, but I'm still very much in this. I have not tightened my stop yet. Just not feeling like that's the route to go here. Just contacting my Telegram group about the news that's coming up in a few minutes. All right, you can see the whippiness coming in now and defending. Obviously, if we survive into the news, I would either get out of the position or tighten my stop to break even, or better if there was a way to do that. But we'll see how that plays out. I'll show you how I manage that as we get there. And for your sake, I'm going to put you on pause right now and to bring you back if anything happens. This thing could blow out our stop in a heartbeat. I'll bring you back and show you that, obviously. Here we go. Hey guys, just checking in with you. Nothing going on here. It's not looking great, though. I'm just going to delete this horizontal line. It was to mark those wicks there, but we don't need that anymore. I don't want to get anybody confused as to where my stop and targets are and what have you. All right, back on pause and we'll watch this play out. Here we go. All right, guys, we're back. Just checking in with you. We're getting a little bit of a push up here. We'll see if we can complete this thing or not. So what I'm going to do now is move my stop to below the current candle body, dramatically reducing the potential stop. And now we just got another little push up. If you saw that, now to break even. Stop to break even. Looking to finish this with one last push. And we're done, guys. Great trade. Thanks for being with me. Appreciate it very much. The news, don't forget, is coming out in 10 minutes for those who are watching this right away. And we will see you a little bit later. Thanks again. Have an amazing day. If we don't see you, by the way, have a great weekend, guys. It's Friday, December the 9th. Take care now.